And we thank you for joining us here tonight for the SmackDown before the Royal Rumble.
WWE Intercontinental Championship.
And here we are set for our Intercontinental Championship matchup taking place as Santos Escobar makes his way down to the ring. And as you can see, he is accompanied by his fellow brethren of the LWO with Andrade, Joaquin Wilde, and Cruz del Toro. An interesting fact about this matchup is Santos Escobar faced an injury back a couple of months ago at Money in the Bank when he was originally supposed to be in the matchup, but instead got attacked by the vicious Viking Raiders to get taken out of the matchup. And since then, Andrade has joined the group and he has helped them out with very much success for the LWO while Santos has been out. And now that Santos is back and ready and better than ever, he looks to win some gold for the LWO. But it's not going to be an easy task for Santos as he is set to face off against the current reigning Intercontinental Champion Damian Priest, who defeated Randy Orton back at Vengeance a couple of months ago and has since then held the Intercontinental Championship for over 167 days and counting, as Damian Priest looks to make his presence known here. And ever since he has taken out Randy Orton, he's felt like he's at top of the world, and he has also stated that he doesn't believe anybody is even worthy of challenging him for the championship, which is why he hasn't really defended it as of recently. But tonight he's about to test himself. He said, you know what, Santos, I'm looking to beat somebody up tonight, and I'm gonna make you an example. With Damian Priest. Holds the title up high, and like I was mentioning earlier, Damian Priest with that vicious feud with Randy Orton that's made its way all the way back at the Dusty Classic whenever he betrayed Randy Orton. And it's since then been a brewing rivalry that concluded back at Hell in a Cell.
Introducing the challenger from Mexico City, Mexico, weighing in at 200 pounds, Santos Escobar. And his opponent from New York City, weighing in at 249 pounds, the WWE Intercontinental Champion, Damian Priest.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are set to have this matchup underway as Damian Priest puts his title on the line. As I was mentioning earlier, back with the whole commode with Damian Priest, Damian and Randy had been a tag team back in the Dusty Rhodes Classic earlier last year, up until Damian Priest said, you know what, I'm going to shine as a single star. And as you see, the bell rings here tonight, the matchup's underway. And since then, Damian Priest has wanted some of that success. He's wanted to be the guy to take out Randy Orton and possibly put his career to end for good, as this match starts up here with a collar and elbow tie-up between both competitors. And Joaquin, Cruz, and Andrade here in the corner of Santos to support him for this matchup, as all three men have pretty much let their intention known that they are looking to win the Rumble and get a title match at WrestleMania. And a quick kick out there by Priest, though, is not going to put him away this early into the matchup, but instead Santos Escobar looks to win title gold already this quickly. And instead, another kick out by Priest. It's going to take a lot more to get that out of him. And once again into another collar and elbow tie-up. Priest there into the drive. And then once again backs him into the ropes there. Referee trying to break it up, but instead Santos is going to take a cheap shot. Classic move there from the LWO brethren into a nice kick up there by Santos. And once again gets the challenger up to his feet. Irish whips him into the corner, but instead Priest gives him two big boots to the face as he gives him another Irish whip into the slam there on the mat. And Santos Escobar, once again, he's got a very good possibility of winning the championship tonight. As you can see, Cruz is distracting Priest as much as possible to give the advantage to Santos Escobar. And I think that's the biggest issue that Priest has got right now, and his biggest weakness. He doesn't really have anybody in his corner to back him up here. As Santos Escobar runs into the corner, and another attack there. Moving very swiftly in this matchup here tonight, as he had suffered that knee injury back to the Viking Raiders, like I mentioned a couple of months ago in September. And right now, he seems perfectly fine. Took the knee brace off and said, you know what? I'm going to come back. I felt like I have not been giving this team at 100%, and I'm going to win the Intercontinental Championship tonight. And hoping that either Andrade, Cruz, or Joaquin win the Rumble next week to challenge the world champion Finn Balor, or whoever the world champion will become WrestleMania in April, as Priest goes for the attack there and runs into the ropes, and another attack there onto Santos. Priest once again feeling himself, firing himself up right now, and Damian Priest sees this more out of making an example out of Santos. Does you really think after coming from injury, he's not gonna at least have, you know, his knee's definitely not going to be at 100%. Even after, you know, that injury that he has sustained, goes for the cover there and a kick out there by the challenger. And Damian Priest is very smart, though, for trying to get Santos to not stand as much as possible. And instead, Santos goes for the kick there into the step up. Insecurity there by the challenger. And Santos runs to the ropes into a leg drop onto Priest. And Santos once again going for another one here, but instead he ended up possibly hurting his tailbone as Priest Irish whips him into the rope, and another slam out of the mat. And now Priest heads up to the top here. What's he got in mind? I don't think he's going to try to hit any 450s from up there, but instead Santos gets out of it. Priest with multiple kicks onto the challenger into a strong forearm. And once again, you see this time the LWO distracting Priest once again, trying to make their intentions known that they are looking to win gold for this faction, as Santos Escobar takes those precious seconds that Damian was distracted, but it seems like he didn't capitalize, as Priest understands what's going on around here. He gets him into a sitting position, but instead Santos counters, gets him up to his feet, and Santos Escobar goes for the finish here, and he got him. He pile drived him. Stunner here onto the champion, Santos Escobar. Match from returning from injury, and instead he gets a kick out from Priest. It was a very close count of winning the title, winning his first championship here, and Priest counters, facing those multiple kicks onto Santos once more. And you see Priest is now firing himself up. Now, quite possibly could get as much of an advantage as possible. Once again, Santos counters. You go nice reversal there onto the attack. And Santos Escobar, you could see him locking his wrist there, keeping that hold and keeping that advantage as much as he can to keep Priest down. And once again, Santos goes back up to the top here, looking to go for a splash, but instead he gets a counter by Priest. Once again, strong punches and looks to take himself to heaven, but instead Santos counters. Multiple punches once more. Santos is in trouble and gets stunned on the mat. And it doesn't seem like the LWO really wants to see the outcome of this thing, but instead Santos shows that he's still resilient and he can still go. My goodness, only a couple minutes into this matchup, not even 15 minutes into it, you can see both men pretty much agitated, pretty much frustrated. Santos gets back up, and it looked like Priest tried to go for a comeback sequence, but Santos once again takes him down on the mat into the cover here. And instead, looks like the champ had different plans in mind. Santos Escobar, you can see he's starting to grow frustrated. That's the one thing he can't really do in this situation, as he's got him up possibly for a phantom driver into the cover. Priest in trouble as Santos wins the title, but instead we get a kick out by Priest. He is not going to make this easy for him. Santos is now firing himself up. He feels the title, grasping into himself closer, but instead, great Frankensteiner there by the challenger. As Priest is in trouble, you see him trying to just crawl into the corner, trying to get as much breathing room as possible, but instead Santos went for that basement drop kick into the corner, and Priest counters once more, gets him up to his feet, but instead he's gonna fall into the south of heaven. Cover once more, Priest smiling at the LWO as he makes the pin for the win. What a way to rub it in their faces, pinning Santos Escobar right near the ropes. As you can see in this match sequence replay, Damian Priest took down Santos and a lot of his arsenal. And once more, Santos tried his best, but it was not enough to take out the champion. The man that essentially claims that he retired Randy Orton back at Halloween Havoc. Santos had had multiple attempts. We thought there was very close sequences where he won the championship. We saw that Canadian Destroyer, and that was a very close near fall for Priest to win, but instead he ended up kicking out. And Santos, you see those multiple sequences where he locked the wrists and made sure that Damian could not get out of it, and inflicting as much damage to his upper back as he possibly could until he slammed him flat on the mat. Then Priest, you see multiple sequences where he went for the pin, went for the cover, but it was not enough as he went for the pinfall, multiple pinfalls, but Priest once more was still in it. And Santos, we believe this was the crowning moment for Santos as he went for the Phantom Driver, and it was a very close 3 count for Priest to still kick out, but instead he gave them a bitter taste in their mouth by providing a south of heaven, and that was a good night rest as Santos watched the lights from the roof.
Here is your winner, and still WWE Intercontinental Champion, Damian Priest!
And Priest looks to head into the Royal Rumble with momentum as he claims he will be the man to win the Rumble and challenge the champion at WrestleMania. And we thank you for joining us here, everybody. Priest celebrating his championship victory, and it seems like Andrade has gotten pretty frustrated. And what the hell is happening right now? What the hell are you doing, Andrade? Just vicious stomps onto Santos. I can't believe what's perspiring right now. You mean to tell me Santos was the guy? You mean to tell me Andrade was the guy? I can't even put my thoughts into words right now, as I'm just in disbelief of what the hell Andrade's doing. You mean to tell me he's been trying to kick Santos out of the group from the very beginning, and multiple chair shots onto Santos. What the hell kind of man are you, Andrade? What the hell is perspiring? What the hell is this?